Hi, I'm Captain Columbo. Tonight we're doing something a little different. I'm going to be reading the nominees for the 28th Annual Stundie Awards for the month of November 2007. For those who don't know what they are, the Stundies are a collection of strange, bizarre, illogical, and sometimes pretty funny statements made by members of the conspiracy theory community. They are collected by members of the JREF forum. However, the Stundies are not encouraged or endorsed by the James Randi Educational Foundation. They are merely tolerated. Now, members of the forum submit these on a thread every month, and a member named Moby7 goes through the hundreds of entries and narrows it down to the nominees for the month. This month he has done 20, and I'm going to read them in no particular order, with the grammar and spelling intact. Now, he has put these in order, and coincidentally, the first one is one that I personally nominated. So here we go. The first nominee. Yes, Terry Manning, there is proof that the moon landing was staged, you thick wanker. There was even a documentary. I mean, seems very odd that every single person involved in the moon landing has died mysteriously over the years. They were all killed to cover their tracks, you knobhead. I'm sure it's quite a shock to all the astronauts involved in the Apollo program to find out that they are now dead, and also people like Gene Kranz and others who were part of the support staff. It's also surprising to think that he thinks it's unusual that after 40 years, people who were in their 30s in the 1960s have died. Maybe they have a vaccine for old age in his neighborhood. I don't know. It was a war crime! Mass murder and a real Holocaust, like Dresden and Hamburg and dozens of other German cities. Not like the fake Jewish Holocaust. Oh, I forgot. It was proven at Nuremberg that the Nazis killed 20,000 Jews with an atom bomb. So I guess that counts as a Jewish Holocaust. Yes, the Holocaust denial rears its head with the little-known Nuremberg bomb. Now, it's interesting to point out that usually the Stundies revolve around September 11th, but they are not exclusive to September 11th, as these first two nominees have kind of illustrated. Now, in case you hadn't noticed up above me here, we've have a typo in our title. It is intentional. Alright? And there's also a joke in the title. Apparently, some of these people have little or no sense of humor, as this third nominee points out. Apart from the obvious typo, it would seem that the Stundies have been running since 1979. It predates the forum, opened August 2001, and even the internet. Or maybe someone should point out to this thick, expletive deleted, ignorant murderer apologist that annual means once a year. Our next nominee has pointed out an experiment that we should all try out. Only under constant pressure of force, gravity wouldn't allow the fireball to travel down. Only gravity would. But fire always travels up, not down. Liquid fuel in flames falling at any rate, the fire would travel upwards if lit. Get lighter fluid and try it. You might need a set of concrete stairs and a long lit stick. Do not try this at home. The basement and the 22nd floor explosions were not part of a controlled demolition. If, then, it would indeed make little sense, but part of a secret controlled demolition. Yes. Our next nominee, number 6, apparently has watched The Matrix just one too many times. What I've discovered about the anti-conspiracy haters and or resistors fighters here is that they have very strong fixed beliefs that retard their reasoning capabilities. Another word for it is brainwashing. Not the regular, focused, intentional, isolated brainwashing like MK to Ultra, but an incremental conditioning form of daily brainwashing. This brainwashing is similar to a hive mind type of thinking that comes from and is activated by stimuli like watching Fox News, being involved in organized religions, going along with the crowd, so to speak, and not thinking for oneself, and doing mundane ritualistic type behaviors. For example, using the same route to work every day, eating the same type of food, visiting the same places, listening to the same things, and or basically having the same routine each day or most days of the week, month. That was pretty crazy. Retarded. Our next bit of toofiness was very polite.
Well, I appreciate your offer to be debunked. I'm content at the moment to believe that what happened on 9/11 was an inside job.
Well, I appreciate your appreciation. Our next nominee has a funny idea about what the burden of proof is.
Funny how they say that we have no evidence of explosives, yet they have no evidence that there weren't any explosives.
Despite the supposed anonymity, I think we can guess who the next person was.
Screw 9/11 mysteries. We have been repeatedly asked if we intend to rebut the recent production entitled Screw 9/11 Mysteries Clunkety Clunk Edition. This is our response. A major Republican who donated $100,000 to George W. Bush recently tried our suggestion. In his hotel room using a stopwatch, he said clunkety clunk 110 times. It took him over 3 minutes. 10 seconds versus 3 minutes. You decide.
By the way, I was able to do that very trick in 55 seconds. Of course, I'm assuming that the building didn't articulate each syllable. But then again, maybe, it has good diction. I don't know.
I think, if anything, your post has shown your lack of knowledge of science. Notice, gravity doesn't exist. See Einstein's relativity.
Yes, it is a little-known fact that gravity has been proven a myth since the early 20th century. Our next nominee is a textbook example of logical fallacies. It's not speculation to say that Bush needed 9/11 to invade Iraq because one event did follow the other. Our next nominee shows that in extreme cases, it is not you who are wrong, it's reality.
While this may be considered demolition from the top of the building, if instead we imagine that the top is comprised of a 30-story high building, the demolition would actually proceed from the bottom of that building.